And we're going to win the Champions League and the Premier League in 4 years. 4 years? What's it talking about? Did you say 4 years? Yes. Project 2028. We win Premier League. Do you hear him? Omar, you working for City still? No chance. Well, the dust is settling, as Sky Sports kept banging on about yesterday. Now the real mess will begin to be dissected of yesterday's game. Hello everybody, welcome to Flash Talks. Back by popular or unpopular demand, whichever way you look at it. Yes, so what a shit show, that's all I will say regarding yesterday's game. A quick summary of the game. United were okay from around the 5th to 10th minute up to about the 20th, and then obviously we completely just went first on with the early goal in both halves. And the Bruno red card, for me it wasn't a red card, I think the red was a bit harsh, but his reaction afterwards just tells the story. The man, I had a rant about him on my last episode. He's clearly watched it, I think. It's obviously got to him because he's taking his frustrations out there. And he's, I'm sorry, Bruno, but this is the rest you need. 3 games out. I think we're going to get a different look United for the next 3 Premier League games. But is it enough? It's not. I've been Mr. Ten Hag in for so long. You've only got to go back a few months, back to just before the FA Cup final, how disgusted I was with Ineos and the new structure. They were going to sack him right before the final. That obviously didn't happen, but the whispers were getting out because they were talking to managers. It got out, and that has now affected this. These players once again are giving up, and granted, the majority of this squad is his team. That's why I now say it's time for him to go, because if even his players aren't performing for him, then what fucking chance have we got? Ten Hag, thank you for the Carabao Cup, thank you for the FA Cup. You made us a decent cup team. But as I was joking at the start about Barada and the vision of being Premier League champions in the next 4 years, you've probably taken us as far as you can. If we are a cup team, then it's been great while it lasted to be in those cup competitions. And all of us as fans probably looked forward to the cup games because it was a distraction from how shit we were in the league. First season was a false dawn, probably. With the likes of Liverpool not performing that season helped us out. So they've obviously come out this morning, not an official statement, but they've spoken to papers and they have said that he is to remain in charge for Porto and Aston Villa. What does that tell us? What does that tell us? That gives them a little bit of time to go and find a manager. Can they do it in a week? Probably not. Now, we've all heaped praises of the new structure and the way the transfer window went. And I myself will say, yeah, it seemed to be heading in the right direction. We've got all this stadium talk, which is all positives, and it's good to see these directors at Old Trafford, watching every game, going to the away games. It's great to see that standpoint. But have they royally fucked up by not fully backing him or sacking him after the FA Cup final? If they were looking at managers, that was the time to say ta-ta. By giving him this contract extension, it meant nothing. It's not a new contract. So the players probably think, well, we know he's going. This is the way modern football works. He's going before we go. So in my opinion, they've got egg on their faces, these owners, whatever they do, whether they prolong it and keep him around till around Christmas. You're completely writing our season off if you do that. And they're going to look stupid if they get rid of him now after backing him. So, and they've only got themselves to blame for that one. So us as a fan base will, when things aren't going to go right, we're eventually going to go for you, the new ownership model. Another saying I keep seeing thrown around. I've watched everything on the socials in the last 12 hours, 24 hours, nearly 24 hours. I have seen Gabby Bonglahor, I have seen friends of mine, I have seen pundits left, right and centre saying this team are not playing for the manager. Not playing for the manager. I hate that saying. It's getting used so much. When they're not playing for the manager, they ain't playing for us. We're more important than playing for the manager. If you're down in tools because you think he's on his way, then you're down in tools for us. Shocking. And the Stretford End were singing its heart out yesterday, as they always do, and it was gutting. I watched it until the very end. It was gutting to watch on TV the stadium just completely emptying out. Apparently some people were only staying because it was raining outside, so felt like staying under the bit of roof that they had was a better way of staying dry. It's just a very telling story. It's just absolutely shocking. There's no direction, there's nothing. And the thing about, can he motivate players? When he came in, I was very happy to have a disciplinarian in. He sorted out the Sancho mess. Well, that wasn't a mess when he came in. He tried to motivate this player. We could go do a whole episode on Sancho and things like that. We had the Sancho situation, we've had the Ronaldo situation, the Greenwood situation. We've had situation after situation. And I think he's dealt with it quite well. But when it's now come down to, we're all questioning the whole style of play thing, the positives were there in that Crystal Palace game. There just wasn't the end product. Now we've gone completely backwards. Again, first 20, that was a weird performance, if you can call it a performance. And then yesterday, it's just carelessness, it's recklessness, where there's no interest in being it. Two players gave some effort yesterday. Garnacho with his runs, never stopped running throughout the game, but again, no end product. And Onana with some decent saves, but he's a goalkeeper. You expect a goalkeeper to make some decent saves in the game. And the rest of them, I know a lot of channels and stuff do ratings of players and stuff like that, but I would do a man of the match and something like that, but that's it. From yesterday, well, I couldn't do a man of the match from yesterday. There was no fucking man of the match, and there was no one player that was awful. They were all combined terrible. And it's really quite sad to see now, once again. So let's move on to what happens next. For me, I personally am in the stage of, I don't give a shit anymore. I invested heavily in this manager and I believed he was the one. I really am now at the point of, I don't care. Bring in whoever, because we'll be back here in 2 years' time talking about, oh, maybe they're not the right man for the job, all this sort of bullshit. It's been very tiring for the last 11 years. And we're just going round and round and round in circles. Maybe because we've had 10 years of failure, we now have to have 10 years trying to fix it. Who knows? But as Jim Ratcliffe said in interviews, fan base haven't got that sort of patience to build for 10 years. They've set this target of win the Premier League in 4 years' time. What happens if you don't win it in 4 years' time? Which you won't. This fan base is going to be breathing right down your necks, and it ain't going to be pleasant. The whole Glazers out movement will probably return. Yeah. And you'll be included in that. Anyway, so to try and be optimistic, what I personally would do, because of the names that are out there, I would give it to Ruud van Nistelrooy permanently. Don't give him an interim job. I'm sick and tired of interim, caretaker manager, bullshit. You get someone interim, say till the end of the season, you're almost there saying, okay, we fucked up this season. You just do it the way you want to do it for the rest of the season. Let's see what we get out of it. You're writing it off again. We're still in contention for Europa League, still in contention for the Cups, and it's only 6 games in. We could still get top 4. You just don't know. So I'd go 2.5 year deal, Ruud van Nistelrooy, job done. There's so many Dutch players in this squad now. He's obviously got a bit about him. You've seen him animated on the touchline, more animated than Ten Hag at times. The history of being such a great player, probably between him and Rooney, probably my all-time favourite strikers. So he would get, the fan base will be well and truly behind him. You're never going to turn on someone like Ruud. So yeah, the other names, Tuchel, I think, what will be the point in that? I do kind of think like maybe he is waiting for this job, but we've just gone and signed De Ligt and Mazraoui, who were players he was not using at Bayern because he didn't rate them. If you bring him in now, do they get dropped straight away? Makes no fucking sense. Mazraoui, apart from yesterday, has been pretty decent. De Ligt at times has looked pretty decent. You're just going to throw them away. So Tuchel makes no sense to me. The Gelsman, I think he's too busy. I don't. Would you take it? I don't know. And I almost feel like why I would go with Ruud is because they don't want to end this project, but maybe they just think we change the man as the face of the project, and it would be Ruud. So that's where I would go. On to the other names. Mr. Southgate, which talks sport, talks shite, keep throwing at us. They know they're just winding up the fan base with this one. No more to be said. No is the no for Southgate. And Mr. Potter, Mr. Harry Potter. Ten Hag himself said, I'm not Harry Potter. Maybe that's what we're waiting for. Harry Potter's going to come in and save the day. What a load of bollocks. And first and lastly, I just got to say, Porto away on Thursday in the Europa League is a must-win game, not just for Ten Hag, but for the fan base. We want to win. That's if you're a fan that is here saying, no, we've got to lose the next 2 games and it's definitely gone. What sort of fan are you wanting your team to lose? I just don't understand that logic at all. So I'll never want to lose. I want to beat Porto and I want to beat Aston Villa on Sunday. I know we probably won't. We could take a point against Porto maybe, and maybe if we're lucky get a point against Villa. And that won't be enough for Ten Hag. He will go. Win them both. Yes, it does prolong his sacking, because you can't sack a manager after 2 wins, surely. He will remain in post probably then till Christmas. Christmas. I thought my voice went funny then. Yeah, so I want us to win the next 2 games. Simple as. I'll be cheering them on Thursday night. I'll be cheering them on Sunday afternoon. Come on, United. Let's sort this out. Wake up. And I'm interested and intrigued to see how we're going to play for the 3 Premier League games without Bruno Fernandes. this is the direction the club probably needs to head in. So, folks, let me know what you think regarding the Erik ten Hag imminent sacking, I should say. When I say imminent, within the next week. So just let me know. Give us some comments under below and like the video, please. Please subscribe as well. Could do with some new subscribers, and share the video, share the content, spread the word. Flash Talks is in town, baby. Thanks everybody. Have a great day.